Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Mr. Nixon, and I was just checking in. Gonna drop a few videos today so that we can kind of catch back up on where I was supposed to be last week. I hope everybody's enjoying their spring break, and of course, for those of you who already know, I'm in school, so I'm not on spring break. I'm actually um, in class. I just got out of class just a few minutes ago. And before I go to my afternoon seminar, I'm going to sit here and drop a couple of videos to kind of catch back up on chapter 24 and 25. I know that's not what you're probably working on this week if you're staying up with the loaded schedule. But for those of you who still are trying to understand 24 and 25, just want to drop a quick few videos to kind of get through that. So um, this is just something to kind of talk about GFR and talk about glomerular filtration rate. Sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their head around what's going on with GFR. So anytime I hear the word rate in a name, that tells me that that is an amount over a period of time. That's an amount over a period of time. So that could be milliliters per minute, or grams per minute, or I don't know, centimeters per second or something, some type of amount over a specific amount of time. So glomerular filtration rate is the amount of filtrate that you are producing over a set period of time. So we're seeing filtrate being produced by the process of filtration at the glomerulus, which is inside the Bowman's capsule. Now, if you put the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule together, you create a renal corpuscle. And so you've got the shell and you've got the capillaries, and both of those put together create your renal corpuscle. So with glomerular filtration rate, you got three different pressures that are affecting the filtration process. Number one, you have the primary pressure, that is the strongest pressure, the most powerful one, that's forcing things out of the glomerulus, and that's going to actually be the hydrostatic pressure. So you have that capillary hydrostatic pressure that's pushing fluids out of the glomerulus, and then you have the colloid osmotic pressure that's pulling things back into the glomerulus, and then you also have the capsular hydrostatic pressure, which is a pressure that's being created by that tight capsular space that the glomerulus is sitting in. And that pressure is a very small pressure, and it's trying to push things back into the glomerulus. So you actually have one pressure that's trying to push things out, and then you have two pressures that are trying to push things back in to the glomerulus. And ultimately, the capsular hydrostatic pressure supersedes the other two and forces solutes and the solution overall out of the glomerulus and into the capsular space. And once that fluid is in the capsular space, we refer to it as filtrate. We no longer refer to it as blood plasma, because once it goes through the filtration slits, it's devoid of most proteins and all of your formed elements like white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. So because of that, we can't call it blood plasma anymore. Number one, it's not in the blood any longer, and number two, it doesn't contain the same constituents. So it doesn't have the formed elements. It doesn't have most of the blood proteins. So therefore, we refer to it as filtrate. And then that filtrate is going to drain out of the capsular space and into the proximal convoluted tubule. So hopefully that kind of gives you some type of understanding of GFR and helps you to kind of grasp what's really going on in a very short, sweet, and plain understanding. If you got any questions, just shoot me some questions. I'll be checking my email off and on throughout the week, even though it's spring break. Hey, what can I say? Like I said, I'm not really on spring break because I'm taking classes, and as you can see, I'm sitting in an office doing work. So talk to you guys soon. Peace.